All right, Kurt Helin joins us, Pro Basketball Talk on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready hotline on 107.7 The Franchise. Every time we have Kurt on, we always finish up by asking him who the 9 seed will be in the Western Conference. We will see. That's your tease, everybody, for the end of this segment. I'm sure Kurt is just overloaded with excitement.
You know what? I think I'm going to pick the Lakers just to screw with it.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. All right. So will you give the listeners around here, because, look, everyone's jaded here. You know how it is. You talk to a bunch of different markets, and they're all the same. They all have a higher sense of a higher opinion of players on their own team. So will you give a national sense of what is going on with Russell Westbrook, in your opinion?
Look, you can't have a much higher opinion of him. He has inserted himself into the MVP conversation with his play this
year.
Where? Really?
I mean, where? At the top, like where? I mean,
where on the list? I'm like,
correct.
He is. You know, it's become a really interesting race of late because he, I would say, is in the top 3. He's going to be right there with Curry and Harden right now. LeBron went out and made his they're the MVP statement last night and had a fantastic game. So I think that the elite players are doing that, but I think Westbrook is gaining a lot of momentum. Obviously he missed those games early in the season, and I don't want to discount what Curry and frankly of late Harden's doing. Harden's been a machine. But Westbrook's now in that conversation. It's a race now where those two had separated themselves. Not anymore. Westbrook's coming on fast and hard, and it'll kind of depend, I think, on how things shake out over the last 20 to 25 games for the teams have left. But he's in that mix. Let's put it this way: I'd be shocked if he's not top 3 at the end of the balloting at least.
Is it fair to say, Kurt, that he has a better chance of winning the MVP if Kevin Durant's injury lingers for longer?
Probably doesn't hurt, although obviously, if you're chasing that award, that probably helps. If you're chasing the playoffs,
sure,
probably would like that whole Durant thing back.
Sure. Well, I think we can agree it helped Durant last year, right? To have no Russell Westbrook.
And I also think this has helped take him out of the shadow. So even if when Durant comes back, and obviously they're going to be a little bit cautious, but in the next couple of weeks. When he comes back, I think he's out of that shadow a little bit in a lot of people's eyes this year. The way he's lifted up and carried the team and put up numbers, even if like last night, it's not always the most efficient numbers. He put up, look, you're not in that game without him doing some stuff.
Kurt Helin joins us on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready Hotline. Pro Basketball Talk, probasketballtalk.com. Do you have any worry? There's a lot of Thunder fans now are very interested in what's going on with Golden State these days.
Yeah.
Is there anything that leads you to believe that they're struggling any more than a 1 seed should be?
Not really. Look, first off, they have a weakness, and you saw it a little bit last night. You can pound them inside. You can get points on. You can slow them down in the paint sometimes. They were, I believe they shot 19, it was 65%, I forget the exact numbers now, but there was maybe 19 of 29 at the rim. Like, they were missing shots at the rim. They were terrible in the rest of the paint and through the mid-range. If you can do that to them, you can give them problems, and you can also sometimes score on them inside. So that weakness exists, and I think everybody knows it. It's just some days that's easier to exploit than others. They missed some chippies. Andrew Bogut just had an off night. It was one of those things. So they are, I don't think, struggling any more than normal, but I don't think they're some sort of invincible number 1 that will crush any 8 seed. I think, especially in the West, they are, if they're not invincible, does that make them vincible? I don't think that's a word, but I'm going to go with they're vincible.
It is now. It is now.
So I don't. They are beatable.
Kurt, Zach mentioned earlier he thinks Oklahoma City should be the 8 seed because he thinks the Golden State series would be an easier one to win for OKC than Memphis. For Thunder fans around here, it doesn't look like it's going to take a lot to get above the 6 seed. So who would you want to see in the first round of those options of Golden State? Really, Golden State, Memphis, maybe you throw Houston into that mix.
Well, he follows so many teams. I don't know if he would have a good – I don't know. Maybe you will, Kurt. That seems like that's a tough question for a guy who covers the NBA on a national level.
No, I think, well, first off, if you could choose among those three, if you could get Houston, that'd be awesome, but I don't know that you're going to be able to climb that high. I don't know that you can get to 6. Houston is far softer than the other two, I think. And then that's despite the fact that, look, they play really good defense, and they've got Harden, and eventually they get Dwight Howard back, and look, there's no easy outs in the West. We're like, who's the weakest team in the West right now? Probably San Antonio. Do you really want them in the first round? I mean, there's no easy outs. So, that said, I in some ways I think you're right in that Golden State is a little bit better of a matchup because you can go at their weaknesses. It's Mike with Memphis. They're going to pound you inside. I mean, they're going to grind. They're going to grind. They're going to grit. They're going to slow it down. Mike Conley is the most underrated point guard and a very good defender. Obviously, they bring Tony Allen in, who's physical on Durant. So I think the matchup, frankly, would be a little better with Golden State, just in terms of pure matchup. But and that's with just going off the top of my head without looking at the numbers or having gone and watched any film or anything. But that would be my guess off the top of my head. That said, again, Game of Thrones in the West.
Yeah, no doubt. I heard this on one of our other shows here on 107.7 The Franchise this week. If you had to rank, starting at number 1, of teams, I guess if you were to handicap, most likely to win the NBA championship this year, how far down the list do you have to go knowing that they're going to have to win a bunch of series on the road? How far down the list do you have to go before you get to the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Personally, they're top 3. I'm not just saying that because I'm on in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you are. Come on.
No. If you go back, I wrote within the last week, one of my week and a half, we do every night our kind of 5 things we learned in the NBA nightly wrap-up.
Right.
And I wrote after one of the ones, like, Oklahoma City is now kind of my team to beat in the West. If I had to bet against Oklahoma City or the field, I'd take the field. But I think Oklahoma City and Golden State are neck and neck 1-2 with who comes out of the West. And then you get to the Memphises, who I think is capable. And then there's a whole bunch of teams where, like, look, if the Clippers ever start clicking, there's a whole lot of teams where if things fall for them, if they get the matchups they like, they get on a little roll, that they're really dangerous because, But to me, I think if you're talking NBA title, if you want to be picky, I might put Cleveland now in that mix. So maybe no lower than 4, though.
I got one question before we let you go. Well, actually, there's a couple really quick ones.
You're forced to do one.
But I know. But I know. Well, 3 quick ones at the end, which will include our money question. But real quick before that, I'd just like to know, just for fun, the most annoying part of Kurt Helin's job is, other than this phone call, is what?
Trust me, this phone call isn't close. I mean, outside of the stuff nobody likes to hear about, like.
No, I want to hear about it.
No. Like, look, I'm the managing editor. I've got people who work under me. Everybody's got to deal with paperwork and all that stuff. Aside this stuff that's not basketball, that's no fun. Honestly, probably Laker fans.
Really?
They can be so grating and such a. Or actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I'm not even going to say Laker fans. Kobe fans who believe that Kobe can still walk on water. And they're out there. And if you write anything that's like vaguely like Kobe's really kind of done, you hear from them like this is 2004 Kobe or something.
I would have figured that your answer might have been, I don't know, the nightly post that you finish up at 3 a.m. every night. I thought that might be it.
I'm on the West Coast, so that's only midnight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. 3 quick things. Number 1, you blew my mind a little bit earlier. You got me to thinking about, with the Spurs and the Thunder all down low. Just throw out a percentage. These are all like quick one-hitter answers. Percentage chance all 4 worst seeds advance in the first round in the West.
10. Not much.
Okay. The dress, white and gold or blue and black?
Dude, it's white and gold. I don't even know where people get blue and black.
I'm with you, Kurt.
Absolutely. It's a travesty that people answer the other way. And the 9 seed in the West at the end of the season will be?
The 9 seed?
That's right.
Phoenix. The 8 seed, probably, I'm leaning, it might be San Antonio now.
That's like blasphemy. People laughed at that thought about 2 weeks ago.
You know what? I've written their obituary so many times that I'm scared to say it out loud anymore.
I can't believe you just did.
They will put together a 15-game run and make me look like an idiot again. But, man, they're just not playing well. They're not relative to everybody else in the West.
See you later, Kurt.
Take care.
Bye.